guys, Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a video of my favorite age gap romances. Now, I was going to do forbidden romances, but then I realized most of them were age gaps, and my friend Tori from Novel Life just posted one this week that I'm filming, so I was like, I want to chat age gaps. I think I haven't done a video in like 6 months for specifically age gap romances, so I am here, and I love a good age gap. Like, the bigger the age gap, the better. I really want to read Highest Bidder by Sarah Kate. I have it over here. I have not read this yet, but like, it's a big age gap. And I'm very excited. I think he had dated her mom. I am so ready. Like, the angst, I love it. So I am going to get to my recommendations and chat about what I love. So the first one is Halo. This one is an MM romance that I read with my Patreon last month, and I didn't realize, I was looking back at it and I was like, I'm pretty sure there was an age gap. So I looked it up and it was 10 years. So Halo is 23 and the other hero is 33, and the singer of the band left them, and there's a lot of drama with it. This is book 1 to a series, so it does end on a cliffhanger. I have not continued the series yet. I didn't realize it actually ended on a cliffhanger. I thought they were companion books, but they're all about the same couple. And so in this one, Halo ends up trying out for the band, and he has such a different sound, but it is like exactly what they're looking for, so they're super excited. And the one hero who's already in the band is like, this guy is perfect, and calls him Angel, even though his name's Halo. He's blonde, he's just super excited and super talented, and so he ends up singing with them. And the first night they're booed off the stage because people are obsessed with their lead singer. They don't like this new singer, so they have to like rebrand the band in order to like make a comeback. And so it's really about that and them trying to resist their attraction but like really not being able to, and it is so good. I love a romance where they're bandmates because it's obviously forced proximity. They're always around each other and they just like cannot stop thinking about each other. And there's at one point where it's like after the show they're both like hooking up with other people, but they're like, I cannot keep my eyes off of you, and like getting jealous of each other, and I just love that dynamic so much. So this was a lot of fun. And then I have one that I've talked about a lot, but I'm gonna talk about again. That's Power by Cassandra Robbins. This is a mom's fiance romance. So he is engaged to her mother, not because he loves her, but because he's like, I gotta get married at some point. Why not marry her? He is just a very cocky, infuriating man. And so the heroine is home for like summer break or something from college, and she is hooking up with her boyfriend, and the hero walks in and he is like, absolutely not, and he gets very jealous, and that starts their romance. And so they start hooking up, and this hero actually does have to grovel because then it's like, but you're engaged to her mom, and so she doesn't want that to continue happening, and he does grovel. And he is someone who is also very rich and throws his money around to get what he wants, and he wants her. So I really like this. Like, the ending was really fun. The second half, she ends up traveling somewhere and she's staying with friends, and it's just like a vibe I wasn't expecting, and I really had fun with it. I love a good taboo romance where, you know, he was dating her mom. Her mom's an awful person though, so you like really don't feel bad about it, but this one was a lot of fun. Highly recommend. Another one I've been talking about a lot, but I like can't not talk about it. That's The Naked Fisherman by Julie Ann. I love this one. He is the landlord. He is like in between her and her mom's age, I feel like, so like she's wondering if her mom like wants to date him, but then she keeps on referring to him as like someone who could be her daughter's brother, like, oh, he's like a brotherly figure to you, and the heroine is like, no, he's not. And so the mom had just gotten out of jail, and she was raised by very religious grandparents, so she's very sheltered in certain aspects, and so she goes live with her mom, and Fisherman is a landlord, and her mom goes on a business trip and leaves them alone together. They have undeniable chemistry that they're trying to not give into, and she's just feeling guilty about feeling she's feelings for him, and he's trying to help her explore those feelings. And there's a lot more depth to their relationship that was revealed later on that I really loved, specifically about like his character and how he was pretty much made for her. Like, it was just super sweet things that they connected over. And this one also has a cliffhanger though, because it's a duet. I have not read the second one yet. I'm nervous. I hear there's a time jump and another trope that I'm obsessed with, so I think I'm gonna like be obsessed with it. That's why I'm like saving it for a special time. But I love their dynamic in this one. I loved her exploring different aspects of relationships and her sexuality, and it was great. Then I have a photo finish, which is a 10-year age gap, and this one, the hero and heroine meet online and start up a flirty relationship online while he is deployed, and then she starts working for his family's ranch. He ended up cutting her off, and she is like horrified that he cut her off, and she works at his family's ranch. She is a jockey, and she absolutely hates him now. And so she gets injured and has to stay at his house because she lives on a second floor apartment. The other house she could stay at is a married couple, and she's like, I'm not getting in the way of the newlyweds. And so she has to move in with him on his first floor, and it's forced proximity. They cannot stay away from each other, but it is so good. He's such a grumpy hero and slowly lets her in onto secrets he's keeping, and they're falling in love again, and I loved it. I mean, the age gap in here isn't that bad. Like, I wouldn't consider this forbidden. It is a 10-year age gap though. They have a history together. It is so good. So if you want like not as taboo age gap, you should read this one. Another age gap that's not taboo at all is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This one I think is like a 10-year age gap if I remember. She is older and she gets stranded in this small town. Her car breaks down and the hero is there to like help her out of the situation, and they end up spending the night together, and she really likes him, but her life is in the big city. She's a successful doctor. She's supposed to be marrying this other doctor. Her family has expectations of her, but she loves how she feels in this small town with him, and so she keeps on visiting, and they keep on having this little relationship, and she needs to really take a hard look at her life and what she wants. And he is so amazing. He runs this like bed and breakfast place, and he's just content in his small town life, but he really likes her, and I just loved it. Like, the feelings I get, I just smile. I really enjoyed this one, and it's just hard on the heroine trying to live her life the way she wants to and not how others expect her to, and I really enjoyed it. This one I gave 5 stars. I would love to reread it again because now I'm like fuzzy on some of the details because I read it a while ago on audio, but this is definitely something that I would reread because it was so good. But her new book just came out. I'm excited to read that one, but this one's an age gap with an older heroine, and I really loved it. Then I have Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton. That is a tongue twister to say. This one is an age gap, and I don't remember how big it is, but it is her boyfriend's older brother, her ex-boyfriend's older brother. So her ex had cheated on her like the entire time they were dating, so she broke up with him, but something had happened on a family vacation with the older brother, and now the older brother is like the CEO of this company. He's super wealthy, and he is like, I need to marry someone to fix my reputation because my investors don't like me sleeping around, so you're gonna marry me and come work for me. And she's like, no. And he's like, well, I just bought your company, so you're now working for me, and we're gonna be engaged. And so she ends up having to move to New York with him. She lives in California, but she's an artist, and he gives her an offer she really can't refuse, and she loves New York, so she moves, and it is definitely a little over the top. I just filmed my wrap-up where I talk about this, and it's over the top. It's very tropey, it's exaggerated. He's definitely a dirty talker. They say things that I'm like, would this be realistic in real life? It doesn't matter because it's a fun time, and things definitely got a little emotional at the end. Like, much more depth was added to his character, which is what I was wanting in the first half, which is why it was more like a 3-star in the first half and a 4-star in the second half, so I gave it 3.5 stars, but rounded up to 4 because I did enjoy what happened during that time. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's also the one bed trope where they're stranded together, and I did love their bickering and bantering. This was definitely super spicy too, which is a fun time. This one's just a fun time. This one is just like Power, where I give that one 4 stars too, even though it was over the top, a bit ridiculous, but so fun. It was entertaining to read. I enjoy their dynamic. I love a billionaire who's just like, I'm gonna buy your company because like I want you. Yes, please. I love that. So this one was a 4-star read for me. I think it was a lot of fun, and he is older, and her ex's brother. So there's that age gap. The last one I have is a smaller age gap, but it definitely affected their relationship because they met so young. So that's gonna be Bittersweet Memories by Katerina Mora. I love Katerina Mora. This is my favorite book by her. This is an amnesia romance. They meet when they're teenagers. So I wanna say he's like 5 years older than her. I don't remember how old she is, but they meet at a cemetery because her mom died and his dad died. So they meet each other, and they're instantly really into each other, and they have a really great conversation, but like she's too young, and to the point where it would be like creepy. Like, she is just too young, and it would be fine if they were like in their 20s, but like teenage years, no, like that's too young. And so a few years go by, they're reunited again when she is still like on the cusp of being too young. She ends up volunteering at a shelter that her dad had told her he lived at with her mom, and she's just like giving back, and she's working at the shelter, and he's living there. So something had happened. He's living there, and he's like running a lot of things, and she is there, and they start up a friendship again, and her father passes away. So she is homeless now. Like, he made bad money investments, things were crumbling down, she is broke. So she moves into the homeless shelter and ends up moving in with him. So then they finally start a relationship because she's old enough. And so they had to wait until she was old enough before it was like really okay for them to be together. So the age gap definitely affected their relationship in the beginning. We do have amnesia and a time jump in here and a little bit of forbiddenness going on because we have some meddling characters, but they do find their way back together. He is also a billionaire hero with his own tech company that he created just to find her. So I really told you the synopsis in pretty much like the first half, because then like the second half is when they're reunited when they're older, but this one is just like not taboo at all, but the age gap definitely affected when they were allowed to be together. So that was a mix between some pretty taboo age gap romances and some pretty tame ones where it just like affects the dynamic of their relationship of if they want to be together. It's totally acceptable for them to be together, like in the Abby Jimenez or in like a photo finish by Elsie Silver. No one really cares about the age gap, but there is one there. So those are my recommendations. Let me know if you have any recommendations in the comments down below for me. I am always looking for more age gap romances, and I can also link Tori's video and my previous video I did, I think like 6 months ago. So that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.